Hello and Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah, I'm here up at the top of the episode because honestly, I didn't want to stop any part of this for you guys to have to listen to me yammer about literally anything. This is a really good one. I'm very proud of it. Very happy with it. We get to see Mr. Ray here again from $2 Creature Feature, and we got something special for you. So, with all that out of the way, I just want to say, hey, thanks. This year has been insane. None of us could have expected you guys kind of latching on and saying, "Oh, hey, yeah, we do like this show, and we're going to continue listening to it." That's just super fucking cool. And we're trying to cook up some good things for 2025. All of that being said, I'm tired. I'm tired, y'all. I've been doing this. I am the sole editor on this show. We do not have money to pay someone else to edit, and nor do we have time for anyone else to do it. So hey, y'all, we're doing the thing. All that being said, I'm gonna take a break for a bit. Just not even really a break from editing, but just a break from uploading so we can build up a backlog and get some stuff finished so it's at the level that I want it to be at before we have to send it out. But yeah, might be a month or two, might be, we'll see. Right now I'm thinking that it'll be probably March. Probably return to uploads that are a part of the main canon of what's going on in March. I know we have at least 2 things that we can upload in between for you guys to have little treats. One of those being Keeper's Retreat 2, which has some really dope shit of Kate and a lot of our good friends here in the TTRPG community. So that'll be super fun. And then a little Animorphs one shot that I got to run a little while ago, which is super, super fun. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy that a lot. I'm talking too much, and I need to shut the fuck up. Last thing for you, 2 things. 1, stars. Please give them to us. Spotify's great. Apple Podcast also good. Thank you very much for your support. Number 2, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas, y'all. Happy holidays. Enjoy your holiday season. And we also have a little treat for you. The trailer for a brand new Masks actual play called Issues. I'm very excited about this. I heard their trailer. I heard their theme song that they got from fucking I Fight Dragons. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a great band. Shout out to Chicago. I'm talking too much. Listen to the trailer. Enjoy the episode. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy life as much as you can. And if you're not having a great time right now, know that someone cares. Someone cares about you. It's going to be okay. I'll see you guys in 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between or irrespective of that binary, Sterling City has issues.
Welcome to Issues, where subtext is for cowards.
Issues is a new take on the tabletop role-playing game, Masks, A New Generation.
I could carry you if you want.
I would rather fling myself out of the window.
I mean, 6 flights, it's a lot.
You know what? I'm gonna make sure it's 10 then.
We focus on unapologetically queer youths doing their best to survive and thrive in a city working against them.
Local non-binary too angry to die.
We take the time and energy necessary to keep players safe while dealing with heavy subjects.
That was a lot and scary. Somebody got shot because Webwalker zoned out for a little while.
It's a very hopeful game about very queer kids in a very dangerous city. Also, there's superpowers. Issues can be found wherever you download your podcasts every other week, starting Christmas Day, 2024.
Oh my god, we are a diversity quota come to life to scare people. I love it.
Memester of the Week contains fantasy violence, drug use, and horror elements. A list of topics, themes, and subjects featured in this episode will be included in the description. If you ever feel unsafe or suicidal, please call your local crisis center, emergency services, or national hotline. A link to an international list of crisis hotlines is listed in the description below. And remember, you matter.
So you go to the man and he stands up and his eyes are still like glowing green.
Are you okay?
I'm weak. And I think he sees the tattoo on Dan's hand and like he just straight up bum rushes Dan and yells, "That damned eye!"
I dodge. Full success.
All right. I think whenever he goes for you, like you easily dodge out of the way because he's a lot weaker than even probably he thought. And he just stumbles on the ground in front of you.
Can I help you?
He'll like grab at your pant leg and he'll just say, "I thought I killed all of you." And he'll look at you like dead in the eyes. And he said, "I thought I killed the Brotherhood."
Well, you missed a few. Sorry, what's your name?
I'm Severus Servati, and your damned cult kept me prisoner.
No. My Dan is my name.
I think he tries to feebly like swing at you, and I'm not even gonna make you roll. I think you can like easily dodge.
Wait, prisoner, you said?
Yes.
Ah, shit, dude, I'm sorry. Hey, Journey, do you have a med kit?
I think I have something in my bag.
I'm gonna like shake my pant leg free and examine the med kit to see if there is a syringe. I'm gonna take some blood off of this guy. I'm real sorry about this, man. And I'm gonna hit him with the syringe.
All right.
Take a sample.
I think that Mala would see this and like get in the way.
Excuse me. Hey, okay, I'm not gonna be coy with you. I'm not out, so I don't really have a choice.
I understand, but you should talk to him first.
All right. Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm not going back. And he'll grab Mala's leg, and then they both disappear.
I think we open up and we see that flash of black feathered wings and hear the fluttering. Severus, where did you take her?
I think we are in the basement of the haunted mansion from the second Keeper's Retreat.
Oh.
The one that Kate won.
Very important. Is this before or after?
After.
Okay. Yeah, we open up to this basement that is barren, and we see the walls of old stone and steel. And if you look around, you can see along the floor the shadow of what was cages that had been left here, and dark stains that are still very hard to remove. And Mala turns around and says, "What the where are we?"
Yeah, that's my home. Or, I'm not sure if it is mine anymore. I believe I may have missed the date.
Take me back.
He gives Mala a long look, and I think I want you to roll manipulate someone.
Manipulate someone is charm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mala has a +0 to charm. I fully fucking forgot that we were playing a game for a second, and I was like, dice? Where are my dice? Where's my character sheet? Okay. Plus 0. That
Yep.
is a 4 and a 3. That is a 7.
Okay. So when you manipulate another hunter, on a 7 and 9, they mark experience if they do what you ask. I think Severus is going to give you a very long stare, and there is a wildness in his eyes. There's a fury there, and I think he looks down where your missing hand is, and he's reading you in this moment. And he says, "No, I don't think I will.
I need to go back.
If I'm not mistaken, your former brotherhood, and like an animal caught in a trap, you chewed off your own limb to escape, so to speak, yes?"
I failed. And it was lose the arm and leave or die.
Take it from someone who has some expertise on the subject. If you go back, your friend will turn you in, and they will kill you.
Dan wouldn't.
Wouldn't he? I think deep down you know that he is still their puppet. That is why you stood up to defend me, and that is why I took you from there.
He's a good kid. He's just in over his head.
Then do me this kindness, and this kindness for him. Help me in my revenge. Help me burn this cancerous weed from an otherwise perfect garden of life. Help me destroy them to free him, and then I'll take you wherever you wish.
What makes you think that you can break them? You already tried. You already failed. Why not live out peace?
Well, that's something that eternal life affords me, as I am a very patient man, and I can do a lot of killing. There is plenty of time for peace once it is done, but for what they did to me, I have to stop them from doing this to others.
We see Mala reach over to her arm and feel the prosthetic there and feel the magic that she stores in that arm to help animate it and to use it as her focus. And she gives like a slow nod, and we hear at the top of the steps someone coming down. Hello? Is someone here in my basement?
Would Severus recognize her voice?
That's an excellent question. We've never talked about these characters interacting by any means. And I don't know that Kate knew who Severus was when the Keeper's Retreat happened.
Yeah.
She was a person who was invited. So I think the ball's back in your court actually there. Because you invited her.
That's fair. Like, as much as I want to like play into the meta and be like, oh yeah, they ran in similar circles because of, their line of work is very similar. I kind of have to say they probably don't know each other, just because like in that episode Arnold Friend identifies himself as Severus.
Yeah, and she doesn't recognize him immediately.
Yeah, she doesn't immediately go, "You're not Severus, you're full of shit." So yeah, I don't think he recognizes the voice. And so whenever he hears her voice now, he kind of like adjusts his ragged shirt and says, and like kind of curves back some of his wild hair and says, "Oh, yes, pardon me. I think there's been some confusion. This should be my home."
Well, isn't that interesting? It's not very often that you see somebody come back from the dead, but I've heard of worse things. Who's that with you?
Well, first, I suppose, before I reveal who this is, I should ask, who are you? And why is the basement cleaned out? I seem to recall this being a livelier scene.
I don't like keeping people on tap, and the former resident had an unfortunate incident. But I'm the mistress of this house. Now, when I'm away, our good friend Mr. Babish is the caretaker here.
Mr. Babish, it was my understanding that he took ill, quite definitely.
He did, but he's still around, and well, you don't have to have a pulse to be able to be the caretaker here. It's not how the magic works.
That is very true. Well, Fair is fair. If you're the mistress of the house, me and my friend would like to board here, if that would be possible. I can compensate you, of course, but it would be most beneficial. I'm sure we would have a lot to talk about, so my company would also be involved in that.
We see Kate McCamill walk down the steps, all black clothing, curly hair tied up in a little bit of a ponytail behind her, her sprawling tattoos running down her arms. And she looks at Severus, and she looks past him at Mala. Yes, I think we should all have a conversation. Come upstairs, dear. I'll have the ghost put some tea on for you. I think from there we move forward a bit. It's been months. It's cold. Snow is starting to fall outside, and we see Mala sitting in a diner, sipping on a hot cup of coffee and just idly watching a nearby family having their lunch in the Ray's family diner, a little 1950s style diner that's only supported and still going by locals who still like coming because the food is good enough and the people are family. Mala sees these kids playing and thinks about the snow and thinks about the connection that they have, and then sees Severus walking back to the table.
And I think Severus's outfit is a bit more modernized. Like, we've always seen him in a very classic, almost Victorian-esque, like, three-piece suit. And I think he's now wearing something, like a dress shirt with suspenders under it. And he wears a peacoat over it. His hair is cut back to its normal length, and his beard has been shaved down into a mustache and goatee. I think he takes a seat at the booth and he sips his coffee and he watches Maul's gaze and he's like, "Have you ever considered that?"
Considered what?
Well, I mean, once our mission is over. I mean, I know you're young, but a family isn't outside of your grasp. There are many people who live this life who do accomplish such a thing.
I don't know. I haven't been around people in a long time. Hell, I think you're the longest conversation partner that I've had in a few years at this point. So family life seems a little bit bigger than that.
It shouldn't be. Love is a very big thing, and it's something I encourage you to at least keep on your radar. In my experience, it is painful, but if you cut yourself off completely from that, you don't grow. And in the end, that is what they're trying to accomplish, isn't it? To keep us from growing, from spreading, to having fulfilling lives, lives outside of their purposes.
Right. Well, what about you, Mr. Lives Forever?
I've had several families over the years. Perhaps it's a tad reckless of me, if I'm being completely honest. My father was a poet, and as a poet, he fell in love with the most unlikely of beings. He fell in love with a Valkyrie, and that's how I came along. And I had a family a very long time ago. This is the first time I realized that I would be here after they're gone. And I stayed connected to them, got to see my grandchildren and great grandchildren, and eventually it became harder and harder to explain why I looked as I do and they grew old and died. So I did what was a lot easier back then, and I did a stroll over a hill and found a new village and a new name and just continued onward throughout history. Occasionally I would fall in love. These things happen. You can't escape it. That's how I met Beatrice. I haven't talked about this in a very long time, but she was a widower. She had inherited her land from her late husband, and I was nobody of note back in those days. I still looked on into her for time to time, make sure she was taken care of, and it was actually around this time of year that there was a blizzard whenever I came to make a delivery to make sure she had food, at least for the blizzard. And she didn't let me leave. I stayed there with her, which was scandalous at the time, but that's one thing that I loved about her. I came from a time whenever such things didn't bother people. It was not uncommon for what you would know as Vikings to have extramarital affairs and things like that. It wasn't a taboo. It was intimate, but I'm getting sidetracked. Needless to say, she and I really bonded, and I really loved her. And it ended in my suffering. We had 2 children, and she used me without my knowledge, but she used me as currency to buy her way out of the Brotherhood. There was a very select group in the Brotherhood that knew of my immortality because of her, and they offered her freedom from their clutches. And so she drew me into a trap and took my children away while I remained in this holding cell where the Brotherhood would just drain me of my essence. I don't completely understand the full scope of what they were doing, but I was there for, I believe it was 43 years, if my math was correct. And it was thanks to, you're not going to believe this part, but Oberyn of the Fae and a few of his court were actually the ones who helped free me. To this day, I owe the Fae very much. And he kind of gazes off for a minute and then takes a sip of his coffee and he's like, sorry, I believe I've brought down the mood. Forgive me.
No, you're. Do you blame her?
I go back and forth some days. Whenever I was freed, I was furious. I was furious at the Brotherhood. I was furious at her. I spent a lot of time being angry.
What happened to her after you escaped?
I don't know. I believe she's changed her name. She probably died. Probably along with that line. I, at this point, I dare not go and look, because how would I find my grandchild and say, hey, I've been gone all this time, I'm sure you have questions about who you are and what you are. I can answer them. How would they respond to something like that? How would they begin to process it? And they would be angry with me just as well, as they should be. There are a lot of things about what I am that I haven't shared with you, and I don't share with a lot of people. So no, I haven't looked them up. I haven't decided to go after that because I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think I'd be scared too. What are we looking for, Severus? Why are we out here in a diner in the fucking Upper Peninsula?
We're continuing our search. We need some definitive evidence of what the Brotherhood is doing so that I can reach out to Oberon and hopefully rouse his forces for an oncoming war, or at least get some idea of what is going on with the Brotherhood. But sometimes I get these feelings. It's sort of a sixth sense. There is something foul afoot, and it has intentions that threaten the intricate web of nature, of balance. I don't know where it is or what it is, but I feel its presence, if that makes sense.
Right. Because psychopomps can do that. Okay. Well, Mala pulls out a map. Okay, well, we are in Grant, Michigan, and the next Brotherhood compound, at least the ones that I remember, the next one was out near St. Joseph. So that's a couple hours to the east. I don't know. The last two that we've been to have moved. I don't know what it is. Maybe they know that we're looking for them. And if they know that we're looking for them, then they could set a trap. But we keep going, huh?
Indeed. It's one reason why it's so important that we get something to show Oberon. Fey magic can help hide our presence better.
All right. Whatever your Fey King or whatever it is says, I hope he's good at what he does.
He is. It's just more of a matter of getting him on our side for this. I already owe a great debt, and now I'm asking an uninvolved party to go to war. It's not an easy conversation to have.
Yeah, well, sooner or later, the Brotherhood will probably take it to the Fae anyway, knowing them.
My thoughts exactly. I think the door to the diner opens. Oh, a uniformed officer comes in, and he takes off his big, like, floofy hat, because, you know, they wear a lot of floofy hats in winter. He sets it on the bar, and he sits at one of the bar stools, and he says, criminy, Catherine. Did you hear what happened to the Johnsons?
No, what's going on, dear?
You wouldn't believe it. So there he was. Alan Johnson was on the roof, right? And he was dressed up and he looks around to make sure there's no kids around. Well, he was dressed up like old Saint Nick, right? I don't know if it was some ice on the roof or something, but he fell off his roof, right? Just fell and broke his back.
I like the idea of like this scene happening in the foreground and we see Mala and Severus keying in the background. And this waitress, Doris, is just like pouring some coffee into a cup and she says, oh no, that's awful. Well, is he going to be all right?
He's in the hospital. He's recovering right now, but Doc says that he broke his back. He's going to be out for a bit, which is, it's a real shame. Real shame. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Gosh darn it. Hey, is that pie on sale today, or?
No, the pie's the same price as it is every day.
All right. Well, you can't fault me for trying. Let me get a slice of pie and some coffee. Meanwhile, I think Severus gives Mala a look. Do you believe in meaningful coincidences?
Unfortunately, I think I have to.
And I think we cut to, like, Doris going back to fill up Severus's coffee. And there's just our dishes on the table with some money on the table for plus tip. And we get Severus and Mala pulling out of the diner. What are we driving?
We see the snow falling on the sidewalk as we get like an outside shot of Ray's family diner, all neon and nighthawks, big windows and all that. We see the headlights come across the screen as Severus and Mala pull out in a 63 Cadillac Eldorado, a massive piece of steel that is just winding down the roads with just enough space for two people to take shifts sleeping in the back seat pretty comfortably.
I love it.
I saw one of these in person once and I was fucking floored by actually how big it is.
Yeah,
it's gigantic.
Yeah, I never had an Eldorado, but I grew up driving like 80s model Buicks.
Nice.
And I always love a big metal like boat, like land boat, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
With like a lot of room in the back.
This is absolutely a massive land boat with a gigantic trunk. Let's see. I chose the model. What color is it?
It's Severus, so it's got to be a metallic green.
Like a dark metallic green. I love that.
Yeah. So I think we take off for the hospital.
Okay, so maybe I'm missing something here. A guy fell and broke his back. Why is that suspicious? It's winter. People fall all the time. It's cold outside.
Right, but he fell off of his house and he was dressed like St. Nicholas.
Okay. Lots of people fall off their houses dressed as St. Nicholas in December. There's a whole movie about that.
I haven't seen it. I'm not familiar.
Fair enough.
But the fact that I'm feeling something lurking here, This may have been an assassination attempt. It may not have been. It's just a little bit of entertainment for my curiosity. We have a long way to go before St. Joseph, and, well, this may just pass the time. I could be wrong, and if I am, I fully admit it, and I will drive the rest of the way to St. Joseph and give you a rest.
All right. Fair. Though it's nice to not be behind the wheel for a little bit.
Yeah, tell me about it. I used to have somebody drive for me when I was a part of the fun fair. Did I ever tell you about that?
You were part of a circus?
It was a carnival. We most certainly were not a circus. Circuses are barbaric. They capture animals and force them to be on show and presentation. It's a disgusting practice.
Agreed.
But yes, whenever I was hunting the Brotherhood, I started a carnival to go around seamlessly.
That feels like it would be, I don't know, maybe I'm just maybe I'm just young and new to the world, but that seems like it would be more difficult than just going and getting them, you know?
Perhaps. But it was also important for me for other reasons. I needed to find myself again, to remind myself what was important, and I had found that with this traveling fun fair. It was also important because it allowed me to hide persecuted beings and travel, take care of them, take them to more secure location.
Why didn't you just bring them to your friend, Mr. Oberon?
Because the King of the Fae is not at my beck and call, nor is the Feywild. And some creatures enjoy being here. They're just in a bad situation, bad place.
Right. Okay, well, we'll go to the hospital, we'll talk to this guy and see what he saw. And then you're going to drive the rest of the way to the next spot.
Certainly, yes. That is definitely the plan. And I'm sure it's nothing. It's, as I said, a meaningful coincidence.
Right. Sounds good.
Yeah, let's cut to us going inside the hospital. I think the nursing staff waves us on through.
Mala's going to let Severus talk to the people. I think we have a rapport here, actually. We've done this a lot. I think Severus knows that Mala is not good with talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to let you go ahead and handle the nursing staff.
Hello there. I was informed that a very dear friend of mine had to be rushed here, and I wanted to check in on him. His name is Alan Johnson.
Yeah, sweetie. Let me check on that real quick. Yeah, Mr. Johnson was just admitted a little while ago. He's probably asleep right now, but we can send some nurses to go check on that and let you know when he might be awake, if that's okay.
That would be wonderful. Do we have any details of what happened? I heard he fell off of his roof.
Yeah, investigate a mystery.
Oh, okay. That's sharp. I am not sharp. That is my only stat that I have negatives in.
Fair.
That's a 3.
That was a 3?
That was a 3.
Let me get that notebook out. let me start marking down hard moves.
Yeah. Just so you know, I am 1 experience away from leveling up.
There we go. Yeah, the lady across from you, I think that this is a local nurse, a Latinx woman, shoulder length, curly brown hair, and she just kind of eyes you over and says, "Yeah, that's about all that we can tell you. If you want to just go take a seat over there, and we'll have some people come handle you when we can, okay?"
Handle me? You just make it sound like I'm about to be roughed up. You'll have to buy me dinner first.
Don't push your luck, sweetheart.
Oh, I always push my luck.
Yeah, she has fully walked away from you. While you are in this conflict over here, Mala's gonna do a little bit of snooping.
Alrighty.
This is what Mala's used to doing. And so she's gonna also investigate a mystery. And that is a 7 plus 1 for an 8.
All right. On a 7 and 9, you get to hold 1.
We're gonna ask where did it go so we can find out what is the room number for Alan Johnson?
I think while Severus has this other nurse like distracted, I think Mala can see behind the nurse's station and is reading like the patient charts that are all tabbed up.
Mhm.
Like you can see that Alan is in room 113.
Room 113. Yeah. So Mala will like peek over their shoulders, get eyes on the like patient charts and everything like that. Note down what room it is, and then just kind of like back away and kind of make themselves less conspicuous. Once the head nurse that Severus was talking to walks away, she'll come up and be like, "Whew, that was rough to see."
I don't know what you mean. I still got it.
Uh-huh. Sure you do, Grandpa. Anyway, Mr. Johnson's in room 113.
113. Lucky 13.
That's not what that is.
I mean, it could be.
Nope.
If you really, really wanted to. Luck changes on you like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You keep saying that. Mala's gonna walk off.
Yeah, I think Severus walks with her into the room and says, well, do you want to wake him or do you want me to?
You probably have a bit of a lighter touch than I do. I'll keep an eye out.
Sounds good. And Severus will sit on like a rolly chair that is near the patient's bed. And he's going to put his hand on the guy's arm. And I want to use magic to heal one harm to kind of wake him up.
Okay, yeah, roll that.
That is a 10.
There we go. Yeah, that goes off without a hitch. You do exactly what you need to. Yeah, so what does it look like when Severus heals people?
I think it's a very simple, like he just puts his hand on their forehead and his eyes glow green and like some of his spiritual essence like just kind of flows into them.
Yeah, I think we see that green flow down and into Mr. Johnson's face and go like down his throat, and we see a soft like green just diffuse through his body. And Mr. Johnson is like kind of an older white guy, probably like early 50s, bit of a like crooked nose and brown hair that's like more than a buzz cut, but not much more. That's starting to kind of like flop over to the side. Very like square, rectangular kind of head. And he goes,
okay, yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Who are you? One of the nurses?
Not quite, but I am a friend. Don't be alarmed. Don't be afraid. And I'm going to be using Soothe on him.
I think we hear very quickly, because Soothe doesn't require a roll, that you immediately calm a person who is in a stressful situation.
Yep.
And so we immediately hear, generally when people say be calm and that I'm a friend and you don't know them, that's generally kind of a place for alarm. But you seem pretty nice. You and your daughter?
No, not my daughter. She's just a friend that accompanies me on various. I'm getting off topic. I heard you had a tumble, and I was very curious about that.
Yeah, I was putting up Christmas lights on the roof, and yeah, something came at me. Oh God, what was that? And I think that's going to be an investigative mystery.
Damn it. Okay.
Hey man, you're engaging the
I know. I'm just like, what? How can I get around rolling the one stat that? God damn it!
It's a second 3.
Yeah, I got a second 3, but hey, I level up. That's great.
You leveled up.
Yeah. I don't. I will put that in a second, but yeah. He's like, what? Could you describe it?
It was. It was big, and green and it had dark yellow eyes. Oh, who are you? Why are you here? Nurse! He starts pressing the button on his gurney to call for a nurse, yelling to the outside because he's getting freaked out, remembering what he saw.
I want to grab Mala's arm, if this is okay. I want to use angel wings, and hopefully we both wind up where we're supposed to be. So on a 7, I rolled an 8, and on a 7 to 9, you don't quite manage it. You either all get separated or you all appear in the wrong place.
Well, where did you intend to go?
I wanted us to appear right beside the car, our car.
Okay. And Angel Wings requires that you go to somewhere you have been, correct?
Yeah, it says you can go instantly to anywhere you've visited before or to a person you know well.
Okay. I think I'm going to use that other hard move. We both
Oh no.
We both go to the same place. Unfortunately, the same place that we do go to is just outside of the door of this hospital room as nurses are starting to come towards the room. And so there is a big green, like a dark green flash and the fluttering of wings. And we are both in front of the room we were just in.
Yeah, I think there's even crow feathers drifting down.
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentioned that in the Dan episode, and I really love that for Severus. So now I'm taking that. That's my thing.
Now it's canon.
No, it's canon.
Yeah, for sure. I think the nurse, the head nurse that you were trying to flirt with earlier, sees both of us appear and is like, "Oh, security!"
Right? Yes, we could take the head. We will be right on our way. Just. It's down this hallway, correct? Yes, I believe it is.
No, you guys
down the stairs.
You guys don't move. You don't go anywhere.
Right, yes, we're moving. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an act under pressure from the both of us to get out of this hospital before security tries to detain us and get us arrested.
All right, well, that's a 10 for me.
Okay. That is a 4 for me. I think as we are running down through the hospital and trying to get out the door, Severus, you're able to get out of the double doors and into the parking lot, and Mala gets sideswiped by a gurney.
Oh, yeah.
And Mala's going to take 1 harm here. She falls over and tumbles to the ground. Ugh, fuck. Security is going to catch her unless they do something.
Yeah, I want to say Severus would notice that she wasn't right behind him and would go back quickly to go get her.
Yeah, I think Mala is in what feels like a dangerous situation now, and she is going to make a wall of ice between her and the security guards.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Go ahead and use magic for that.
That is an 11.
All right. Yeah. You do it. You make this incredible ball of ice. Does it kind of look like X-Men 2 Iceman Wall of Ice?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I think we see the door to the hospital is open. And so we just see a cold wind blow in and the moisture in the air solidify in front of Mala, blocking the view of her versus the security guards that are coming down the hall to try and detain her.
I think Severus catches up and stops for a moment and kind of admires her craftsmanship and is like, I always forget you could do that.
Well, the Brotherhood trains me for something, right?
Oh, I'm sure they do, but this is true potential. And then he winks and he's like, you may have a future in magic,
Well, let's get a future outside of this town first and get going.
Indubitably. And yeah, I think they rush off to their car because I don't know a way that the security could get around a wall of ice. I think I think you've just solved a problem by creating a bigger problem for someone else.
Yeah.
Which, respect.
Solid.
Yes, it was. It was solid.
That's the form of matter it's now taken. Okay, yeah, we're peeling out in the Cadillac, starting to make our way down the road. Okay, so he saw something that was very upsetting for him. Great. We also definitely have made too much noise in this town already, and the police might be looking for us, so that's great. So where do we go now?
Well, I think it's clear. We go to Mr. Alan Johnson's house.
Right, of course. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Go to the place where we were just visiting the guy in the hospital and almost got caught by security. Okay.
Yes, of course. As long as we beat feet, we won't have to worry about the constables.
I don't know why I'm surprised at this point, but yeah, let's go.
I imagine Severus is still driving, so I think he kind of heads that way to where Alan Johnson lived.
While we are on the way over, I think we can see the Johnson house from like a block away. I think the Johnson house is like easily the brightest place around.
One thing is I think for just a detail, I think there's like a string of lights that are just hanging from the rooftop where he fell.
Yeah, there's a string of lights and like a solid imprint of where this guy fell in the snow.
It's very sad, but also I just love this like cartoon cutout image of like where he fell in the snow.
Yeah, it's definitely the cartoon cutout, and then we have like the camera shot looking up from the hole in the snow where we see like Mala and Severus just like peek over and look into it and like, damn, he got fucked up.
I think Severus pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking, and he says, well, I did the heavy lifting at the hospital. I think it's time for you to do the investigating here.
Right, of course. Yeah, I'm going to use my forensic divination. I have a necklace that has a like obsidian crescent moon hanging from it.
Okay.
The crescent is like facing downward. Mala will hold that with her right arm in her prosthetic hand and start swinging it back and forth and just mutter a little incantation. I'm going to use magic to investigate a mystery over here. So I don't actually roll weird on this, but that's fucking boxcars. That's double shrimp, baby.
Ooh, all right.
Investigate a mystery, full send. We get a hold 2. I also get to ask a free question here. We see this surge of like light blue go down her right arm and like through the joints and like plating of the prosthetic and down into the crescent. The image of the crescent becomes a full circle and it becomes like a lens, and Mala holds that up to her face so she can see through it. I'd like to know what is being concealed here first.
I think as you look through this lens, you see this gaunt, shadowy creature. It's got fur and quills on its back. Like as you look, you can see it climbing up with purpose to the top of this roof. And it looks like it's after something. And as Paul is applying these lights, like stapling them to his shingles, it just shoves him off, like without a care. And then it leans on the chimney. It looks like it's pondering something and it's thinking about something. And you look and you see it is staring further down the street. And we haven't established this, so I want to take the time to establish it now. The town is kind of in a like wheel and spoke kind of design. And I think the town center is in the middle of town. And at the town center, there is an extremely tall Christmas tree. And as you look through your scrying instrument, you can see like there is a star at the very top. But whenever you pull your scrying object down, the star is no longer there.
Mala like moves the lens away and sees that the star that was there in the lens is not there anymore. and turns to Severus and asks, "Why would a star be missing from a Christmas tree?"
Well, some families use angels instead. I never
No.
understood that.
It was already there. Do you see that tree over there towards the center of town?
Yes.
Okay, look through this. You see at the top?
Yeah.
There's a star, right?
Yes, I see.
Okay.
Oh,
And she pulls the lens away just so he can see it.
well, this doesn't.
You see the issue.
Yes. This is an interesting play.
I'm gonna look through the lens like one more time. And I have two questions to ask. What sort of creature is it? And what magic was done here? Is my free question that I get for forensic divination.
I think as you look at this creature, it sort of resembles something that you've encountered before. It does seem like a chupacabra, only it's standing on two legs. And it's green as you get this better look at it, and you can see its almost glowing yellow eyes and these sickly fangs that it has that it licks as it's staring at this star. So I think as for what kind of monster is it, it's a mutated chupacabra ? But as for what magic has been done here, you can tell it's not doing magic, but it is gathering resources for a spell. As you think on it, its blatant disregard for human life already gears your thoughts that it may be a member of the Unseelie Court of the Fae, but gathering a specific item that would be of cultural significance, but also any other time of the year it wouldn't matter. You get the feeling that it is attacking the very essence of something, very spirit of something in this area. It's been theorized in some of the documents you've read and studied in your time with the Brotherhood that this could be a way to seriously injure or even kill a god or a spirit of.
Severus,
Yes?
we have a missing star, and someone in a St. Nicholas outfit was knocked from their roof. And I think at this point we were standing outside in the glow of this place.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a shutter, and the lights of this house fully go out.
I immediately draw my flaming sword.
What color is your flames?
Green.
They're all green?
Severus is 100% a Green Ranger.
Yeah. Those dark green flames illuminate this otherwise almost fully dark street, because we're in the Upper Peninsula. We don't have I imagine the street lights are far and few in between in small towns like this. We see this dark green light illuminate Severus and Mala's faces, and I think as we are looking through the darkness around the corner, all we see is a pair of dark yellow eyes.
Well, aren't you a mean one? I want to kick some ass.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll that.
Alrighty. That is an 11.
On an 11. Okay, great. You guys will trade harm accordingly.
But I also get an extra effect.
But you also get your little extra effect. Your nice little effect. What do you want to do to this creature?
I want to inflict terrible harm.
Oof. Okay. So how much harm is that?
So that's 4 harm, and it's the creature's weakness because I have smite.
Oof. Okay. You take a swing at this monster and you clip it through its shoulder. As it starts to go down, it lands on top of you a little bit, pushes a great green claw against your chest, and it opens up its mouth and it just screams. And so you're going to take 3 harm.
Yep.
And this is going to stun you for a moment. And
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think we're going to say that it doesn't do both effects. It can only do one or the other.
I think we set it up so that it would do stun whenever it was near, because it's that loud.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, does it also do 1 harm far to Mala for being in range of this?
Oh no, I think this was like I think his head was pointed specifically into Severus's ear.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. But I think it rattles Severus so much, like his ears are bleeding, kind of golden ichor, and he drops his sword as he grips his ears.
This thing sees that you've dropped your sword and starts to try and like toss you into the snow and move away. Mala's going to try and use magic and specifically trap a monster. So because of practitioner, Mala will take an additional +1 to her use magic roll on this.
Oh, practitioner, so good.
So this is a total +4 on the roll.
Good God.
Which we fucking needed because I rolled a 6 on the dice. But that comes back up to a 10.
That's great. So yeah, on a 10+, your magic goes off without a hitch.
Yeah, I think Mala like takes her hand and sweeps it across where this creature is moving through. And we just see columns of ice shoot up out of the snow, basically like pick this thing up from underneath itself. You know how like when you have to pick up a cat, you just kind of scoop it? You just scoop it underneath the belly. Yeah, that's what Mala does to this creature in this moment with this column of ice, just like firmly getting it on its stomach and then like having ice go above like its shoulders and around its legs so it's not able to like gain a lot of vantage to kick off from.
Yeah, I think you hold it up suspended in the air pretty well. I think what happens next then is the creature suddenly stops trying to escape. The wind starts picking up around us, and I need you to roll plus sharp.
Okay. That's a 6. That's a full failure.
So yeah, these winds pick up, and you hear Dan's voice calling out,
Mala? Hey, Mala!
And it is calling you further away from the location.
Mala's blood just fully runs cold. She turns around and says, Dan?
Mala, it's me. I can barely see you. Come on over here. I'm across the street.
I think this is going to be an act under pressure.
I'm using the creature's move, calling people into the snow. And so I think you're getting called into the snow, and I just want you to take -1 on this roll. On your act under pressure, because I think it's a convincing enough illusion.
Yeah, no, it sounds like him. Yeah, I think I'm going to act under pressure to not immediately break into a sprint across the street and leave Severus to deal with whatever's going on. And that's 2 3s +1 -1. So that's Mala levels up.
I would love to say Severus could help out, but I think specifically because of like the impact of his stun and injuries, I think he like doesn't understand what's going on with you.
I don't think Severus can hear this.
I don't think he can either. Oh, that's a failure, right?
Yep. That's a full failure for Mala.
Yeah. I think I got to take a hard move with this. I think Mala runs out into the street and gets hit by a car. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, no, I think that's entirely fair, and that's what the monster would do.
And this is absolutely a PSA from Memester of the Week. Don't go running out into the street, kids.
Yeah, look both ways. How much harm does a car do?
I'm going to say 2 harm because it's a residential street.
Yeah, so they're not going 75.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not going 75.
Hopefully. I know this is a small town.
Yeah, man. I know. I went 100 on a back road once. It's not a good idea. It's definitely
I went
something
100
that
on a main road
happens.
once. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we see Mala hears Dan, and we see fully like tears start welling up in her eyes, and she starts running towards it because she thinks he's actually here and that he's safe, and that for whatever reason somehow they came to find her, and She runs out and she doesn't see the lights coming. And we hear the impact and the roll, and Mala's laying in the street. Now, you tell me, do the people that hit her stop?
Oh, I think we should leave it up to luck. What is your current luck standing?
I have full luck. I've not used it yet.
Okay. All right. I just rolled 2d6, if that's okay.
Yep.
Or if you would like.
No, you can do that. You can have fun. You can be responsible for these NPCs that you decided to conjure into existence.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so I rolled a 2 and a 6. And so your luck is sitting, your plus for luck is 3 right now.
Yep.
Because it's all of your luck divided by 2, rounded down for our listeners. But yeah, so that gets you an 11. So I think they do stop to check on you.
Yeah, we hear the brakes screeching in the street.
The Taylor family steps out, and the driver is a handsome African-American man. Ignatius Taylor comes running to your side. He's like, "Hey, you just kind of ran out in the street there. Are you okay?"
Oh. Yeah, I'm fine. I saw something. Mala will look back over. When she got hit by the car, the column of ice fully shattered.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And so Severus is laying in the snow, covering his ears. Mala just got hit by a fucking car. And whatever that was, it's gone. And Mala just looks up at Ignatius and says, "Thanks for stopping."
Yeah, no, of course. Do you need a ride to the hospital?
No, no, I'll be fine. We have a med kit in the trunk, and nothing seems out of place.
Oh, okay. Well, and he looks in his car, and his wife, Emma, who is an olive-skinned woman, looks like she's already got her phone out about to call 911, and he raises his hand and shakes his head, and he says, "Well, my family and I, we were about to go to the VFW. They're doing a community dinner there. At least let me drive you there. I want to make sure you're okay."
Right. That sounds really nice. My friend and I think we're both fine to drive. He can drive me, but we can follow you.
Your friend, and he turns and sees Severus, and Severus has gotten up now, and his sword is is hidden. Severus just kind of gives a polite wave, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, if you all want to follow us, that'd be great."
Yeah, that'd be fine. And I think through the back window of the car, where Emma is sitting in the car, Mala just spots two little kids just hanging out in the back seat. A little girl and a little boy that are kind of bickering with each other, but they're also a little bit scared because they just hit something and they don't know what's going on. And Mala will just stop for a second and smile and wave and just be hey, I'm okay, thank you, thank you for stopping. We'll come to dinner with you guys. It's okay, we're okay.
Yeah, and I think the kids are waving back at you because it's kind of awkward and they don't know how to react.
They don't know how to deal with this, and neither does she.
Yeah, and I think the boy says to his sister, he's like, "Dad totally took out that girl with his car."
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for stopping. We'll be happy to join you for dinner.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, just follow after us. And I think Ignatius gets back in his car. Severus walks over to you and he says, "Well, Mala, I think things went swimmingly, don't you?"
Shut up. Ugh.
What?
I think Mala starts signing actually to Severus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Severus would know ASL.
Yeah, and Mala just signs to them that person hit me with their car. I'm okay. They've invited us to a community dinner. That might be someplace to go.
Yeah, I think Severus signs back. "Okay, why did you run into the street?"
I thought I heard something that wasn't there.
I think he'll nod and he'll lead you to the car. And I think from there we follow the Taylors to the VFW.
Yeah, I think we roll in alongside them and we head to this like kind of larger community center. I don't even know if this is like an established community center. This might just be like this is part of the high school and they're using like when school is not in session, they use the high school gymnasium to make sure that people in the community have shelter.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Because I know we talked when we were writing this up, we were talking about it being like in a Veterans Affairs Center, because I don't know why we settled on that. But yeah, no, I like this description of this like school area being devoted to like helping the community, like for shelter whenever it gets too cold, and like having this dinner, like even utilizing like the cafeteria to help dispense food. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, it absolutely can just be a VFW, but I've never been to a VFW, so I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I think we see this cafeteria that is being used for this unique purpose. There are these long tables on either side of the room, and maybe 4 rows. There is a long line from like the door going through this cafeteria, like sneaking around to either side. And then, there's people going in and like grabbing trays and going through the cafeteria line and then coming out through the middle back into finding a seat. Like as we follow Ignatius and Emma and the kids, Ignatius and Emma go to start helping out with on the food lines.
Mm-hmm.
And their kids seemed like a little bit kind of latchkey kids, I want to say. They know where to go, and they sit there and they're taking turns with, I want to say Game Boy, but nowadays the kids are all about the Switch or an iPad. I think they're taking turns with it.
We see this community kind of coming together a little bit and people taking care of each other. And something about that kind of stops Mala for a second. And then she turns to Severus and signs to him like, how's the hearing?
Much better, I think. And he like pulls out like a handkerchief from his inner coat pocket and like wipes the ichor from his ears. How do I look? Better? More presentable, I trust?
Handsome as always.
Are you all right?
Yeah, just a bit of a tumble. I'll be fine. More importantly, what do you think that thing is? What does it want?
Well, I'm not sure. It definitely seemed like it had some purpose at that particular house, Mr. Johnson's house. I don't think I've ever come across anything quite like it before. But, well, you're a little more studied on the various things that lurk in the night. Do you have any definitive clues?
We have a creature that attacks St. Nicholas, even if he's not the real St. Nicholas. There's not a real St. Nicholas, of course. But anyone who looks like him, maybe they attack. Then also, for some reason, they took the power away from that house. And then they've stolen a star from a Christmas tree. What does that sound like to you?
Well, if I didn't know any better, I'd say this is a Grinch stealing Christmas.
Great. I already live in a land of fairy tales.
Well, fairy tales are based on fact. Hidden fact, but still fact nonetheless.
I think Mala's going to investigate a mystery and try and put these pieces together.
All right, roll plus sharp.
Fuck. That's
not good.
Yeah, thank you for the cameo.
See ya.
Damn. Someone who's not even in the episode.
You hear Journey in the distance, like, damn, somebody fucked up.
Yeah, we just see the gang sitting there in the corner, just enjoying a free meal. Because life is expensive for a college student.
Yep. Yeah, that's 2 1s on the die. With a 1 in sharp. Fuck.
Yeah, I can't even help you out.
Yeah, no, nothing can help me out of that. That's rough. Do I want to use a luck point on this?
If you're not gonna, I imagine I would have to roll investigative mystery.
Well, worse than that. Do we want a hard... Mala doesn't want a hard move to happen here. I'm going to use a luck point.
Okay.
Like, I know that, like, luck point is kind of a mechanical thing that's above narrative, but in this moment, there's nothing Mala wouldn't do to protect this place, even if it does end up causing her problems personally later.
Yeah, what is the luck special for her playbook?
The official Council of Wizards is going to poke their nose into your business.
Oh no.
Yeah. Mala's going to mark 1 luck and take a full 12 on that investigate a mystery.
Alrighty. Do you have advanced investigate?
Do I?
I can't remember.
No, I advanced to use magic and kick some ass. I could.
Okay.
I haven't taken my level up yet.
I was gonna say, for my level up, I also advanced. I advanced two more basic moves.
I think I'm going to just go ahead. I was thinking about taking a move from another playbook. It's infinitely more useful to just go ahead and advance my stuff.
Yep. I also get advanced for protect someone and use magic. So
yeah, I'm going to advance investigate a mystery and read a bad situation. Those are Mala's wheelhouse. So now I get the advanced investigate a mystery. I can ask the keeper any question I want, not just the listed ones. So how do you typically handle the number of hold on that with advanced investigate a mystery? Would you say 2 hold any question you want, or 1 question that's whatever you want, and then also a question from the list?
I think, quote unquote, canonically, what you all have done is 1 question for anything and then 2 hold.
Okay.
And I like that.
Yeah, I think that's
because it's either that
fair.
or just double, like where you can ask for.
Yeah, I think
or hold for.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I also like nudge that around because sometimes like you can hit an advanced success, but if you don't know what you're asking for, then using the list of questions is a lot more useful, and just having more hold is more useful than getting a specific question if you don't actually have a specific question in mind. That being said, yeah, Mala is going to ask, what is it going to do? What is the goal of whatever this is? And try and piece that together. We have a star that's missing. We have something that is hurting anything that looks like St. Nicholas. We have the brightest house in town having their lights shut off. All of these things point to, well, they're all important. For Christmas, all of these things are important. The idea of St. Nick and the cheer that Christmas lights bring and the beauty of it and seeing a star at the top of the tree, they're all things that people love about being here. Severus, I think you're right. Whatever this is wants to break Christmas. How is that possible?
Because Christmas is more than a holiday. It extends even beyond the so-called Christian roots. It's a feeling that we all need desperately. It's something that reminds us that there are bigger things than just struggling through the day by day. That there are people out there that don't know us and still love us. It's important. And with all things that are needed in communally felt emotions, it comes with a personification of its own. You say there's no such thing as Santa. I say Santa is everywhere. Now, if this creature has somehow captured him, then I estimate it would be trying to kill this spirit, and in turn, harming the world, which is a very bold plan, and it really makes me wonder what is driving it to such desperate madness.
I think the next question is, how do we stop it? How do we hurt it? What do we know about this thing? What kind of creature is it? Have you ever seen anything like that?
I mean, it looks like it's been an altered chupacabra. So possibly some dark magic may have infested it and has driven it to that point. So, well, I know what my people used to do for the holidays to keep the darker unseelie out. They would burn Yule logs. Like that was part of the tradition. It would keep these creatures at bay. So perhaps fire from a Yule log, a tree, a Christmas tree, if you will. Perhaps there's something with holly. Holly is also used to keep the creatures away. Mixing that with ice, maybe? The water could bring, water brings life. And mixing that with holly could make a weapon if need be.
Right. Yeah. Water is used in purification rituals, and holly is used to drive off ill-meaning spirits. Okay. That was 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of asking a third question, can I take that question and convert it into a +1 for a read a bad situation?
I don't see any reason why not, other than the rules don't say that you can, but I think it would be really cool if you did that, and I overrule the rules.
Yeah, real cool.
Yeah, real cool.
Rule of that's rad.
Yeah, that's fucking rad, dude.
Because I think while we are piecing this together, something is happening here, and I want to know if Mala notices it. Okay, so that is a 6 and a 1 plus 2, so 7, 8, 9.
Okay. On a 7 and 9, you get to hold 1 from read a bad situation.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? And I think something that people haven't quite noticed yet is there has been a small disturbance in the crowd here of just people bumping into nothing. And as we're going around, we see, I think out of the corner of her eye, Mala sees the door to the cafeteria, like kitchens, that like swinging door. That swinging door comes open and nothing goes through it. It just opens by itself and then closes.
I think Severus notices your eyes focus on something, and he's going to look that way and look back at you. He's like, what is it? You see something?
Something's here. Let's go.
Yep.
And Mala will move and make a beeline for the kitchen. We see Mala burst into the kitchen and start to look around. I want to read a bad situation.
All right. Roll plus smart.
9 plus 1 is a 10.
All right. On a 10 plus, you can hold 3.
Looking around this kitchen, I'm going to say, what's the best way to protect the victims?
Who do you define as the victim?
Anyone human who's in this room.
I'll give you this. So you look around and you see Ignatius is putting on the final touches of a Santa costume. And you realize immediately he is going to be a victim. There is no chance that this Grinchy creature is not going to attack him. So you know that he is going to be a victim. And probably the best way to protect him is like either one of us stays with him and the other one searches out the creature, or we both stay with him knowing the creature is going to be coming back. Also for a freebie, like keeping him back here and not out in public eye is probably best for everybody.
Okay. Are there any dangers I haven't noticed?
You see a large turkey roasted and sitting on one of the metal tables in the back. Like it's been carved up for the most part, but like the legs are still there. And you see a clawed hand becoming visible as it yanks this leg off of the turkey. And it slices it, like the meat off the bone, and then it's cutting into the leg as it starts approaching Ignatius. And this leg is being carved into a knife.
What's the most vulnerable thing to me?
I mean, there are plenty of volunteers around, but if you want to be specific, like what you would hurt, it probably is the creature. Like, I think now that it has an item in its hand, it's easier to track. and follow.
Yeah, I'll come in, I'll clock all of those things, and I'm going to just say, Ignatius, please get down. And I'm going to just make a wave of ice across this room towards that creature.
Yeah, go ahead and roll use magic.
Okay, that's a 4 and a 4 plus 3 is an 11. And so I'm
All right.
I'm gonna give him a nice little ice blast, which is 3 harm. 2 harm from the blast and 1 harm from frost.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah, you hit this creature, and I think you hit it hard enough that it like falls and skitters on the floor, and it becomes visible. And Ignatius sees this, and he is shocked, and he starts running for the door, not listening to you. And I think I want to manipulate someone.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take that. That is a 6 on that roll.
Like, on one hand, I feel like it makes narrative sense for Mala to help out. On another hand, I think it's more interesting to just let you fail.
Yeah.
Right?
I think here's what happens. Severus holds up his hands. He's like, no, Mr. Taylor, please, just stay here, stay calm. Everything is under control, but we can't have you causing a riot. And as he does this creature opens its mouth, its jaw dislocates, and it arcs its back, cranes its neck, breathes in deeply, and then lets out this hoarse, horrifying, just scream. I want to work this out with you. Do you think it's near enough for the 3 harm, or do you think it's far enough for the 1 harm?
I think it's far enough for the 1 harm, because I imagined this being like, this was a projectile attack that I did on them. So this was a good, like, probably at least 6 feet away.
Yeah, then I think it gives us all 1 harm. Severus can like withstand this. Narratively, it's due to his partial hearing damage from the last time he experienced it. But I think Mala would take a harm from this. And Ignatius hears this and is like covering his ears, and he's like yelling like, what is that? And it's loud enough that everybody could hear it. I absolutely think everybody in this building hears that.
I'm going to do magic real quick.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. I want to seal this room. I want to make it to where no one can get in and no one can get out. I don't think that use magic will actually allow me to do that, because I imagine with a kitchen there would be a door in, and then there's probably a back door. There's probably a back door to a loading dock or something like that, where they bring in ingredients for making whatever they need to make, right? So I think what I'm going to do, because that was loud and Ignatius is trying to leave, and there are people on the other side of that might want to come towards the kitchen, I'm going to very briefly like fling my hand back and make a wall of ice over the door between like the gymnasium and the kitchen, so no one can enter from that side and we can't go out that side.
I'll give you this alternative too. We can treat this as a big magic roll. You will need to use magic, and it will have a specific side effect. Like, this is going to be very draining for you.
Okay. Yeah, if I can seal like both exits of this room, then that would be ideal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we'll take that as a big magic, and you can tell me whatever the consequences are. Oof, 5 and a 2 is 7 plus 3 is a 10.
All right. So on a 10 plus, it goes off without a glitch from use magic, and I will let you describe what this scene looks like of you, like expending probably more magic than you've, in a way you haven't done in either in a while or ever.
Yeah, I think Mala just wants to protect these people and doesn't want any more civilians coming into this situation and possibly getting themselves hurt. And so she hears that scream, and we see her eyes go fully white, and like the wind blow up and out from her, and it even like breaks the elastic that has been holding her ponytail back, and we just see her hair start flying wildly in the wind, and we see ice come up from the ground on both sides, just fully freezing the doors shut in this room. Even more than that, we see a layer of ice form on every surface of this room.
Ignatius is like kind of clutching his outfit tight as he's like watching in shocked amazement at you doing this. I think you feel an internal shift in you. It feels like your batteries have been tapped out and you need a minute to sort of reconnect yourself and sort of let it back into you. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job of describing it, because I always see magic in universe as this like free flowing thing, and like whenever you pull upon it, you're kind of tugging it more towards you, and you've pulled it more of it to you than you're supposed to. And so kind of as a consequence of that, like it bends around you until it's decided to reconnect you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like
it's not it's not a permanent thing, but it's
the filter that I was pulling magic through has burnt out, and I need to like let it sit for a while before I can do anything with it.
Exactly. And I think Severus notices this and draws his flaming sword. All right, I'll take it from here. And he unbuttons his coat and throws it off. I think first he throws off the coat and rolls up his sleeves, and then he draws his sword. His eyes are just glowing pure green, and there might be some flames rippling from his eyes, and his black raven wings extend. He looks at this creature and he says, "Now hear this, vile one. You are trapped in here with me, the light and the darkness, Kuanon, Kenaz, Severus Savati, the light and the darkness, wielder of the flame. Suffer my wrath and die." And I'd like to kick some ass, please.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that.
That is a 10. I'm going to go ahead and spend a precious luck to bump this 10 up to a 12, which I'm sure players who know me know this is a wild thing to do. But yeah, I want to spend the luck to take the advanced option. I want to inflict double the normal harm.
Fuck.
Yeah. So...
how much harm is that?
That is 3 harm.
Which would be 6 harm.
Yes.
Okay.
And it counts as the creature's weakness because of smite. Yep. Yeah, I think Severus, this creature is standing there, squared up, ready to attack, and he flash steps forward, and he's just on the other side of the creature, and, there's feathers blowing in this imaginary wind. There's just, nothing, and then a line of flame just appears through this creature. There are claw marks across Severus's shirt that just appear after this, and his gold ichor is kind of bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this guy's gonna get you for at least 8 harm.
But yeah, the slash appears, and then this creature just falls, and Severus's wings fold back in, and the flames descend, and he's like, "Oh damn it messed up my shirt."
Well, good job.
Yes, sorry about that. You were showing off, and I felt it was only proper if I did as well.
I think that's fine, actually. I'll turn back over to Ignatius and say, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. I suddenly... What is going on here?
It's a very complicated situation. I'll offer a hand, help get him up off the ground, steady him on top of the ice. You were very kind to me to invite us here, and I'm glad that you did. I could explain all of this to you, or we could make it to where you don't have to worry about it, and you can just go back to your family and enjoy Christmas dinner like none of this happened.
I think we see a lot of conflict on Ignatius's face, and he shakes his head and he's like, I don't know how to. And Severus steps forward and says, "Don't worry, I can help." And Severus puts his hand on Ignatius's forehead, and I think the camera flashes, and we see Ignatius coming out of the kitchen in the Santa suit, and he's making a big ho ho ho, and he's handing out presents to kids as they're waiting in line with their families. And we see there's a few volunteers who are mopping up water that is strangely like in the kitchen by these doors, and the camera zooms out of the building, and we see Severus and Mala in the green Eldorado following a winding road, and Severus looks at Mala as she is looking through her scrying instrument and says, "So the origin is this way, up the mountain."
Right. From looking at the body, it seemed like, yes, I'm using my move Third Eye.
Okay.
When I open my third eye, I get to see invisible things. And so I am following the magical trail that this creature has left from where it's been going.
Oh, I really like that. Yeah.
Because that's the thing that we've established in Memester, is that everything has its own magical signature. Yeah, we're following that along, and we're moving along with that. And we're heading up the mountain. And I think there's a certain point where we have to get out and just start climbing and going on foot. But eventually we make it to this cavern in the mountain where this thing seemed to be living. Okay, let's head on in.
Like there's kind of a makeshift door like put over this cave. It's probably got like a deadbolt on it. And I think Severus will like look around either way, like as if somebody else would see this. And he just kind of like gently smites it and just breaks the lock. He'll draw his sword and kick the door in, ready for whatever's on the other side.
Yeah, I think you kick the door in, and we see the door from this cave just kind of like fall off its hinges, and we see Mala in her sweats and exercise gear, magic focused in her prosthetic hand, and Severus stands up with his sword like ready to fight something, and there's nothing here. And as we take a look around, I think we should investigate a mystery.
Yeah, I think that is a really good idea. I'll let you roll first, and then so that way if you need help, I'll help out.
Okay. 6 and 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. If you help me out, then we get a full success.
Alrighty.
Goddamn, dude.
I'm not helpful at all. I'm sorry.
You're really racking up the failures here.
I am exactly where I was when we started this mystery.
That's
and as far as experience
hilarious.
Goes.
On a help out, what is the failure condition?
I'm not sure. It doesn't really. I don't think it lists.
Okay.
Yeah, if you 7 to 9 gives them a +1, but you also expose yourself to trouble or danger.
I think with that, we start looking around this cave, and we see a cage and an experiment number, and clearly somebody was here and they are not now. Severus, you are looking around and you're looking for something in the distance, and you're not looking directly in front of you, and you just barely touch a tripwire. A mechanism activates and a dart is blown into your chest. And Severus, you've been poisoned.
Oh, geez.
I'm going to say that this is something that is designed to kill the Fae. And maybe not an immediate killing of the Fae, but something that is designed to weaken them and to keep them from using their full strength. And I think this might even be like lead lined.
I like that. It absolutely is going to affect Severus. But, and I'm going to toss this to you, I think Severus doesn't realize he's been poisoned. He just thinks that it's kind of it's just a lead dart.
Yeah.
And he takes the hit and probably thinks nothing of it and just looks at it and like might see like there's maybe a few runes on it, but he just kind of shrugs it and like tosses it aside.
Okay. So I'll write down some things about that.
That's really good. I like this. love what that may mean in the future. Hurt me, Daddy.
Yeah, I think as we were like moving through and looking over this room, whoever was here cleaned it out pretty efficiently, but we do find from like what is being concealed here, I think Mala finds like one note that just mentions the experiment that was being done here, and it has a symbol on it of an owl that's been nestled in thorns and thistles. And she walks over and shows Severus this and is like, do you recognize this? This isn't anything to do with the Brotherhood.
Severus takes it and looks at it and like kind of clenches his fist, but still careful not to hold it. So like he's clenching his fist, but still holding it with 2 fingers. And he's like, oh, I recognize this. This is the work of the devil named Haga.
We see the green Eldorado driving up the road on their way to St. James, trying to get past the American-Canadian border. And we pan out from that, and the camera moves over the trees to a nearby mountaintop where we see someone looking down and just kind of scanning the area. And we see a soft purple glow of an eye on their forehead. And they stop for a second. And we see them bring down the binoculars, and we see that they're a young boy, maybe 15. And he saw the silver of his family and the silver of his sister. And he whispers, "Allah?"